Are you a woman over 40 trying to navigate this whole midlife change stuff? If so, let's talk about it. Hey, ladies, what is up? Welcome back to the podcast, We Age Graceful. I am happy that you are here. I want to talk about this whole navigating midlife. Y'all, it is something. It is something. I just want to go over a few things like we're going to be talking about in this particular episode. We're going to be focusing on managing stress, dealing with anxiety, embracing change, and all the things. And we're going to do it right now. Right now. But before we get into it, I have to let you guys know about my YouTube channel. If you have not yet subscribed or hung out with me on my YouTube channel is my name. I am Kelly B. And over there, I do beauty and lifestyle. I just recently started two new series over there. One is called Life in Your 40s, and the other one is called Aging Graceful Diaries. Now, a life in my 40s was pretty much me wanting to like showcase just like a woman in her 40s. Everybody's not in their 20s. Yeah, we can relate to those in their 20s because we were there at one point. But that's not how I live now. Yeah, do we do some of the similar things? Yeah. But at the end of the day, I just felt like I wanted to create a series that pretty much reflect me as a woman in my 40s, in my late 40s to be exact. In addition to that, other women to know that there's other women out here just like us, and we don't have to just watch the 20-year-olds. We're not going to rewind time. We're trying to move forward and make it bigger and better. So, yeah, that is that. But let's get right into it. How are you doing? How are you navigating your 40s? What is it doing to you, girl? Um, I recently just turned 48. Yes, I turned 48 about 3 weeks ago. And let me tell you, this birthday, I wanted to be alone. I wanted to relax. And I did just that. What I did was I went to a luxury hotel here in my state and I stayed there for 2 nights. I did poolside drinks, all the things. I ate at the restaurant. I even went out. I went to Ruth Chris and I had dinner there by myself at the bar. And let me tell you something. I felt so good just being in my own company. I felt so rejuvenated that I didn't have to worry about no one but myself. And it felt good. And I'm not saying that, I don't want to give it from my everyday life, but just that in that moment, knowing that I can definitely take time for myself. Because it's like you're pouring into your own cup. When you can pour into your cup and give everyone else what's running over, let me tell you something, that feels so good. And we wonder why we're so antsy and we're so irritated and we just can't seem to get things right because we gotta take time for ourselves. So that's what I did for my birthday. And let me tell you something, I feel so good. I'm really thinking about doing that once a month. It may be a little bit pricey, but let me tell you something. When it comes to your well-being and your mental, everything like that, yeah, I pay for therapy. Yeah, I pay for this. But guess what? Just having that time, that just felt so good. It just felt so good. And something simple as like saying you have your family and you're like, hey, where we gonna go eat? And everybody's like, I don't care, I don't care. And then you gotta be the one that make that decision. Sometimes that decision can get on your nerve. I love my family, but sometimes it can get on your nerve. But I was able to make a decision for myself and eat where I wanted to eat and not worry about if they didn't want to eat that. And that just felt so good. So yes, taking time for yourself, pouring into yourself so you can pour into others is definitely good. So let's get into it. Understanding the midlife change. What is it? I mean, it happens to us physically, emotionally, and socially, believe it or not. You know, I sit back and think about just like how I am emotionally now. My social circles, like, how I am when like, my friend groups, you still have, friends from your past, friends from your present, friends that you met when you were an adult. You have childhood friends. It's all these different ways, and you see how you are now in midlife. Those people may still be there, but they're not that core how it used to be. And you evolving in your social, how can I say it, in your social, environment, your network, all those different things. Emotional, boy, I feel like in my early 40s I was like a little firecracker. I was just like, but again, that was before COVID, before therapy, before I knew how to control things. I just feel like I'm a little bit more calmer now. I'm a little bit more at ease. um I'm not as snappy as I used to be, you know and I don't, my comeback is not like it used to be. I mean, I do have a comeback, don't get me wrong. Okay, you hear the tone of my voice change, right? But like, if somebody say something to me, I care less. Because at the end of the day, when somebody has something to say to me about whatever it is, it ain't about me, it's about them. So you got it off your chest, now you go deal with that, because I'm not even going to take it, I'm not going to absorb it or any of that. So I feel like my emotional state where I am, I'm just like, now, physical. It could definitely get better. I recently did a podcast and talking about how to get a fitness routine for longevity for women over 40, because our physical changes, we go through so much, our body. I'm not saying it doesn't happen to men, but I feel like when women, so many different things affect us. Like, men can definitely have bone loss, women have it too. Our hormones just be all over the place. Now, jumping into hormones, menopause, that can impact you seriously. Seriously, like recently, I just had a hysterectomy, and I did a episode on that as well. But I had a hysterectomy. I do have my ovaries, so my hormones, they're at bay. I don't not on any hormone patches or anything like that, or any pills. So everything, I'm not going through like a mood swing, but I do feel like I go through something once a month. I did ask my doctor, I asked my surgeon, I said, well, I still have like PMS. She said, you will, but it'll be very, very light. She said, during that time of month where you get like cramps, breast tenderness, and you might go through PMS. She said you'll still get it because you still have your ovaries, but it won't be as strong. Now, I do feel like that time of the month, like at the beginning of the month, I'm like irritable. I don't want no parts of it, whatever it is. I don't want no parts of it. But yeah, hormonal change, there's so many different things that can happen, with this midlife change. So another life transition for us women over 40, becoming empty nesters, career shifts. I just recently got a promotion at work, so I can definitely contest to career shifts. Relationship changes. That can mean in so many different ways. That can mean in, you know, marriage, relationships and dating, relationships with friendships, any types of relationships. Those can definitely change. But midlife is just like a natural phase. We all go through it. It's just something that just happens. I feel like every 5 years we change, or every year, because we're never the same person that we were. And then I feel like also I really realized things I had to let go and things that I had to minimize in my life, because it kept me in a certain place in my life. And I knew I wanted to move on from certain areas in my life that I was, my previous life. So you have to change, and change is good. Change is good. So getting into it, let's just focus on that stress thing, y'all. Stress. I'm stretching out my arms right now because I'm stress is something else. I mean, first of all, identifying the sources of stress. You know, I feel like you can have stress at work, you can have stress in your household, you can have stress from relationships. It's so many different ways that we get stress and we don't even realize it. A lot of people, yes, high blood pressure is something that's a lifestyle. You can get that from things that you eat, drinking, all different things. But sometimes people don't even do any of that. And they can just have stress in their life and have high blood pressure. And it's crazy because stress is like a silent killer. It's crazy. It is so crazy. So, how can we practical ways for how can okay, let me get it together, Kelly. What are some practical ways for us to deal with and handle and get this stress management under control? For me, for me, therapy was it. And going and being mindful. If you follow me on my YouTube channel, I talked about mindfulness so much because that helped me during my therapy. It so helped me. And I really felt like during my therapy, like my early therapy days, during my time when I was like really like, trying to just get through what I was going through, incorporating change in my life, there were so many people in my life that were pulling me back or trying to remind me of the past. And I had to really remove myself from those individuals because it was like, you can change, but I can't change. So, yes, mindfulness. But yes, mindfulness, meditation that helps with stress, sitting with yourself, and being in quiet rooms and, even if you zoned out, even if you zoned out and you're just trying to get in that source, like close your eyes, you might zone out for a second, but then you're thinking about the damn grocery list. You think about what you got to get done for next week. Oh, somebody's birthday just popped up. So yes, when you get into meditation, you will definitely zone out and you will definitely be in a quiet spot, but yet your brain is racing. That lets you know that there's so much going on inside of your body that you need to regulate, and you need to not pretty much suppress, but kind of put it in its own compartment and not let it take over. Where if you was to close your eyes and think, you can't focus on what you're thinking on because you got so many other things popping in and out. So yeah, practicing meditation and practicing mindfulness is definitely one. Physical activity, exercise. Again, I just recently, talked about having a fitness routine because that helps with, stress management. You know, that helps. I mean, it's like, say you're on a treadmill, not running like you're running for a dog, from a dog, but you're on a treadmill and you're just getting it out, or you're walking in your neighborhood and you're just doing that good walk. When you come back, you feel so good because you feel like you just left everything that was on your brain out. Yes, it takes time to feel like that, but sometimes I can feel like that, but definitely doing some physical activity and exercise can definitely help with managing stress. Time management. I think I'm pretty good with time management. When it comes to my projects and what I do, like the podcast and like, my YouTube, I can definitely, be a little bit more structured, but I kind of go with the flow. But, for my job and my household, I'm very, very structured in that aspect. And another one that, well, let's go back a little bit. Let's go back. I'm about to jump. Having good time management and not being chaotic, that can remove stress, because sometimes when you don't have good time management, that can promote stress, and we don't want that. So now moving on, I'm so excited to get to this one because I talk about this a lot on my channel. And a way to manage stress is setting boundaries. setting boundaries, because we have our own life to live. You have your own life to live, and sometimes when you have other people that you may care for, other people that you may help out, or other people that are just in your life, they may be distant, they may be far, they may be near, but sometimes when people just want to jump into your space, you gotta set boundaries. Hey, 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 no, I can't do that. Hey, 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 no, 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 no. Saying no is okay, or letting someone know when and when not to call you. People know, do not call me after 9 o'clock. I make that very, very clear. Now, in some situations, I do have exceptions, but I let that be known what those exceptions are to some people, not to all people. But yes, I set boundaries, and I stick to it, and I don't move from it, because some people, they will pour their life and their lifestyle on you, and that can be a burden. And I've learned from that, because I've done that before. And when I sat back and I realized what I did, I had to correct it and say, hey, now look at you telling somebody I did it to you, but meanwhile you doing it to somebody else. So that's when I had to sit back and put it across the board. I can't do it to nobody, and nobody can do it to me. So setting those strong boundaries. Yes. Now, moving on to another thing I really love is self-care. Self-care. Now, my birthday, that was a part of self-care. That was a part of me pouring into myself. Me going to a hotel for 2 nights and pretty much pouring in myself, getting a spa treatment, sitting poolside, having them bring my drinks and my meal to me, sitting out there taking in the sun. That was a part of self-care. I was pouring into myself. Getting massages, everybody's self-care looks different. Shoot, going to get my nails done is self-care. That might be maintenance. Yes, it is maintenance, but it could be a maintenance slash self-care, because where I go get my nails done at, yeah, they give you those nice good chairs that you sit in, and this massage in your back. But I'm able to not only get my nails done at the same time, I'm gonna get a cocktail. It's a vibe in my nail salon. So that's like a maintenance routine in addition to self-care. But yeah, little things, just pour into yourself. Those things alleviate stress. Having a hobby. Believe it or not, my YouTube channel, my podcast, it all started out as a hobby. It's more than a hobby at this point, because I thoroughly enjoy doing it. I enjoy content creating, but because I've been doing it for so long, believe it or not, I've been doing content creation over 10 years. If you go to my YouTube channel, all my old videos are still up. My very, very first video, you see how I've changed throughout the years, all the different things. But having a hobby, it doesn't have to be content creation. You can do crocheting, you can do knitting. I mean, it may sound like a more quiet and mature hobby, but it can relieve stress. The fact that you're sitting there and you're holding that needle and you're concentrating back and forth, coloring. My mom loves to color. I even thought about creating a coloring book, because my mom really loves to color. And I said, sometimes she say, I want a coloring book. I want this, I want that. And sometimes they're not, I can't even get out. The ones that she want, they're not available. So I'm thinking about creating the ones that she like, and just like getting her some, but yet selling them on Amazon. Because at the end of the day, it's like, I know my mom is not the only person who likes to color. Coloring is just not for children. You can have adult coloring books. So and I just gave someone an idea. Hey, create your own coloring book and sell them on Amazon. Hey, 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 hey. So yeah, getting in a hobby and, finding ways to just alleviate some stress and to feel good about yourself and to feel ease. I tell you, there was a time in my life where I was just so antsy and didn't know. And we're going to stroll into anxiety. Y'all, I used to deal with anxiety real bad. Didn't know what it was. I thought I was just going to have a heart attack. I thought I was just like not taking care of myself. I didn't know what was going on. But when I finally realized, that's when I finally realized I need to seek therapy because I need to just get it out. And I couldn't pour on to my friends and I couldn't pour on to people because I was, pouring on to my friends, being heavy on her, this one person. In addition to lashing out at my family. So I knew I had to figure out a way to get it together. So how did I deal with my anxiety? Some of my anxiety that because I mean, just through midlife, we just start, everything kind of piles up. Things that we just not addressing. You know, I had to figure out some cognitive behavioral techniques like breathing exercises. Like if I felt the anxiety coming on, I had to just sit, be in it, and literally talk to myself and pretend like I was in a room. Just imagine this. You're in the middle of a room. It's a room, say a 10 by 10 room. And the door opens, but there's a window and the window opens. The door opens. You're in the middle of the room sitting in India style. And the anxiety is just coming in and it's just beating you up. It's like sit there, take the anxiety and let it pass through and go out the window. Let it go out the window. And you may sit and say, well, Kelly, are you going to close the door so anxiety don't come back? No. It's like you just have to understand when it comes, it's going to come. Sometimes you have to sit in it for a little bit and hold on to it and understand how to deal with it and how to cope with it. It may sound crazy, but that's how I dealt with my anxiety. And once I knew how to say it's okay, do my breathing techniques and my relaxation techniques, everything would subside. Now, I'm not saying that I don't get anxiety attacks every now and then. I do. I don't get them as often as I did because now I know what to do. I was like, okay, when I feel it, I understand. I know what it is, And I say, okay, Kelly, you're stressed out. Like, prime example, I just got a promotion at work and learning something new, you may know what you're doing, but learning something new can bring some anxiety. And when I was at work and they was training and I'm looking at things, I'm like, oh my God, I know this is familiar, but I don't know it. I've heard of it before, but I don't know it. And it's just like the anxiety, my shoulders started getting tight, my back, my neck. And I was like, okay, Kelly, calm down, take it all in. You got this. So once I realized, some different techniques and seeking my professional help, I got a therapist. I was able to deal with my anxiety and that feeling of being overwhelmed and just that feeling. I can't even get the word out. Just feeling like weak, for a lack of better words. I wanted to feel more strong and I wanted to be able to control what was happening to me. And the different techniques that I'm telling you, that's what helped me. So therapy, being mindful, all different things helped me in my anxiety and helped me dealing with anxiety. Change. Oh my God, embracing the change. I mean, sometimes on the inside, we can feel like we're still 20 and whatnot. And you may look like you're still 20 on the outside, because, I'm all about aging graceful and looking good and, not looking heavy, just looking real vibrant. I'm all about looking very vibrant and not looking heavy on yourself. You know, not looking like life is on your shoulders. You know, we're not having life on our shoulders. We having life in a bag, and we pick it up when we want to pick it up. So, how can we, viewing midlife change as an opportunity for growth, developing a positive mindset towards aging, those are ways to embrace those are ways to embrace change, the change of midlife. Setting new goals, pursuing new passions. I mean, like, we don't have to do what we did in our 20s. We don't have to do what we did in our 30s. We don't have to do what we did yesterday, early 40s. We can be where we are at that moment. I know some of us are different. Like me, I'm in my late 40s. Again, I just turned 48. So what I did at 45, I mean, I want to do at 48. What I did at 42, 41, shoot, 35, 20, I don't want to do. So it's okay to change and do different things and pursue different passions. And that can be in anything. That can be, again, back to social groups, relationships, whatever it is. It's okay to change, okay? It's okay. And change can lead to new opportunities. I feel, me personally, like, I'm here now, you know what I mean? And people always say, like, the 40s are your best years. My mom told me 40s is your best years. And I feel like, now that I'm in my late 40s, I feel like so much went on in my early 40s. I was working on, getting my youngest in school, wrapping up my oldest from her being in college and stuff like that. No, she was out of college earlier than that. See, years just twining into each other. But I feel like my 40s was pretty much me helping my daughters get them acclimate to where they are. Like my youngest getting ready to graduate high school. I feel like right now is my time. I feel like me turning 48, I feel like a flower has bloomed and so many other flowers is getting ready to bloom. And I also know that flowers do die. So as those die, new ones will definitely be coming. My garden will always be growing. So that's how I look at life, as a garden that will always be growing new flowers, new types of flowers. I got pink ones, I got yellow ones, I got green ones, I got multicolored ones. You know what I mean? Just new. Like, midlife is just a perfect time to rediscover yourself and to just pursue new passions. Like, pretty much, I have a new adventure that I'm seeking. I mentioned it a little bit on my YouTube channel. So I'm saying, make sure you follow me on my channel because, you see a little bit more of me. You get to know, you don't just hear a voice. You get to put a person with the voice. Because for right now, this podcast will be audio. I used to do video, and we're talking about hobbies and passions. I used to do video to my podcast. But I was like, you know what, Kelly, that's a lot. People that watch me and listen to my podcast pretty much know me. So if you don't know me and you want to see me and you want to picture me how I'm smiling right now and to see my smile, follow my YouTube channel so you can get all of this and absorb it all in. So let's recap and tie this all up. Y'all, this was such a good chat. I feel so good. I don't think I've done an episode where I've talked over 30 minutes. I really feel good. And I just want to kind of recap what we talked about. I just encourage you to embrace the change in midlife. It's good, look into like books, websites, again, podcasts, hint, 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 here we are. It's just so much. So we talked about understanding midlife change, how to manage stress, dealing with anxiety, and just embracing the change. Change is good, ladies. Change is good. Let me know if you are experience any of these things that we discussed today. Leave them down below. I want to just keep this conversation going. And if you have any topics you want me to talk about, let me know. I feel like as the podcast grow, I want to have guests on, but I feel like with the guests, those episodes we will definitely record so you can see who the guests are because you don't know them, you just know me. And yeah, we're gonna go from there. So I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for listening, and I will catch you in the next episode.